In today's cooking sketch, I'm making Bak Kut Teh, which means pork bone tea. It's a dish from Singapore, and it used to be breakfast for Chinese dock workers in the early days of Singapore. The predominant flavor in this pork bone tea is, of course, pork bones. I have spare ribs, and other flavors are a ridiculous amount of garlic and lots of crushed white pepper. And when we have separated all the ribs, we are gonna blanch them for 5 minutes in boiling water to get rid of all the impurities and blood and all the nasty stuff still left on the ribs. And after we've separated our spare ribs, we're gonna blanch them for 5 minutes in some boiling water to get rid of all the blood and impurities left on the spare ribs. And after 5 minutes of blanching, we put the spare ribs in the sink to rinse. We're gonna rinse our spare ribs to get rid of the last impurities. And we're doing the same with a few chicken thighs. I've taken the skin off and I'm blanching them for 5 minutes in boiling water. And just like the spare ribs, we rinse the blanched chicken thighs in some cold water to extract the last impurities. I'm crushing some white peppercorns. And they are gonna give a lovely bite and fragrance to the soup. So in this dry frying pan, I'm toasting off all the aromatic spices for our pork bone tea, for our Bak Kut Teh. I got crushed peppercorns, I got cinnamon bark, I've got star anise. Okay, in our frying pan we have now a lot of garlic. I didn't bother to peel them, just put them in with the peel. That doesn't matter. But what we do need to do is to roast them off a little. We're going to roast them off a little. Okay, our garlic is roasted off, so it goes into our big stock pot. Okay, just to recap, here in our stock pot we have spare ribs, we got pork bones, we got chicken thighs. I've put in half a leek and a couple of sticks of celery for some extra flavor, 6 pieces of cinnamon bark, 6 pieces of star anise, and about 50 grams of crushed white pepper. And last but not least, 4 heads of garlic. So we're gonna bring this all up to the boil and then let it simmer for about 2 hours. I've got about 600 grams of pork mince, and I got 400 grams of peeled and deveined raw shrimp. We're gonna chop the prawns very, very, very fine. You kind of want to make a prawn tartare, a pretty fine dice. And this is about how fine you want to dice your prawns. In my little blender I have 50 milliliters of soy sauce, 50 milliliters of hoisin sauce, 25 milliliters of rice wine vinegar. I have 2 red chili peppers in there, 2 centimeters of ginger, and half a stalk of lemongrass, and 4 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna blitz this all together, and this should be enough for about 1 kilo. And we put this in with our mixture of 600 grams of pork mince and 400 grams of shrimp tartare. And last we add 2 stalks of spring onion, finely chopped. And we take it all to the stand mixer and we mix everything through. And then with a pastry cutter I divide them in half, because I'm gonna roll balls half the size of the ice cream cube. So I'm making my hands a little bit wet so it's easier to roll. It doesn't matter when they're not all the same size, because when they're not the same size, you can see that they're actually handmade. And they're now going to steam for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes in the steamer, this is what your balls look like. I've taken out all the pork and chicken bones, and I'm gonna now clarify the soup. I've added 3 egg whites to the boiling soup, and the funny thing about clarifying is that now all the impurities in the soup will attach themselves to the egg white. So we will strain our soup once more, and then we will end up with a clear broth. So I've just poured the soup through a double strainer. I got a fine mesh sieve right here and a fine mesh sieve right under there with a cheesecloth.